And my experience is, if somebody isn't succeeding, you can look at these three things, figure which of the three things isn't working, adjust, and get them on the path to success. So I've been watching the YouTubes, as I like to do, and I've noticed that there's a trend towards videos of how to get ahead of 99% of people. And of course, I ended up going down a rabbit hole and I watched a whole bunch of these videos. And I can tell you right now, there was a lot left to be desired as far as actionable information goes. I mean, there's only so many videos you can watch on creating goals, meditating in the morning, and the habits of the super rich, which, by the way, probably aren't really the habits of the super rich. And of course, there was the one that really got me, which was the be different than other people and do what others aren't doing. Obviously, right? So I wanted to approach this from a different angle and tell you the real truth about what it takes to become successful. And you'll probably be surprised to learn that the bar isn't quite as high as you think it is, and that there's only 3 key concepts that you need to understand in order to get ahead. And by the way, getting ahead isn't about necessarily having more money than other people, although it can be that if you want it to be, but it can also be about being happier and living a better life. But regardless of whether you're just trying to get out of a rut, whether you're trying to earn more money, or you're just trying to live a happier life, what I'm about to show you can with certainty help you get where you want to go. But before I tell you exactly what they are, do me a favor and hit the subscribe button and hit the like button so more people like you can see this video. Okay, so without further ado, let's talk about the 3 things that you need to understand in order to get ahead of 99% of people or to join the top 1%. And you might be surprised to know that the top 1% isn't really as high of a bar to reach as you might think. I mean, just the fact that you've made it this far into a video like this already makes you part of the top 1%. But in order to be in the top 1% of wealthiest people globally, you actually only need to have about $1.1 million according to Credit Suisse. Now, I know that seems like a lot of money, but if you were 20 years old and you put away $250 a month for the next 40 years and adjust the amount that you're putting away for inflation, by the time you were 60 years old, you will have more than $1 million, assuming a normal rate of return in the stock market. Now, you may think that putting away $250 a month for a 20-year-old is going to be difficult, but if you really think about it, it isn't. Because $250 a month is something that can be quite easily made in a very simple side hustle or by working a very, very part-time job. And that leads us to the first of 3 steps when it comes to getting ahead, and that is understanding mindset and the role it plays in your success. And no, this isn't going to be some foo-foo conversation about the law of attraction, which, by the way, if you believe in that stuff and you believe it works, I'm with you. But this is about practical application and about understanding how your mindset plays a role in your future success. And there's 2 things you need to understand about mindset when it comes to getting ahead. The first is that you need to focus on building a resilient mindset. So a mindset that when things get bad has the ability to create perspective and put a positive spin on things. And I'll tell you exactly how to do that in a second. But before I do, the more important piece of building a resilient mindset is to only worry about things that are within your control. For example, high interest rates, inflation, those are things that are not within your control. However, the decisions that you make in order to minimize the impact of higher interest rates and higher inflation are. So while you might consider selling some things to pay off loans and reduce debt, it's probably not worth thinking about politics and what the government isn't doing to make your situation better. Now, for some people, that's going to take a lot of work to train your brain not to worry about the things that you cannot control. However, there's a really simple tool that you can use in order to do that, and that is using affirmations. And before you click off this video, just stick with me for a second because affirmations can play a major role in changing how you think. And they will help you achieve things you never thought possible if you just stick with them for 30 days. That's all it takes. And here's how it works. Let's say that you have a goal to earn more income. Let's say it's, I want to earn $100,000 a year. But that little voice in the back of your mind is saying there's no way you could possibly do that. Well, what you do is you start writing affirmations on a daily basis. 25 lines of, I love earning $100,000 doing whatever it is that you want to do. And yes, for the first couple days, as you write out those affirmations, your brain's going to say, that's impossible, you can't do it, not going to happen. But as you get a few days in, or maybe a week into writing your affirmations, what you'll notice is that your thought process and your self-talk as you write them starts to change. Instead of your brain going, I can't do it, it's not going to happen, it's going to start coming up with ideas in order to accomplish those goals. And one of the first things that you'll realize in order to get to your goal is that you need to improve your skills. You'll either need to get more knowledgeable or you'll need to get better at something. And that's where we get into the second piece of this puzzle, which is your skill set. Now, developing your skill set comes first and foremost from having a continuous learning mindset. And this doesn't mean that you have to be a bookworm. It doesn't mean that you have to start reading every single night and pulling self-help books off the shelf at the bookstore. What it means is that you need to find a way to continually improve. Now, for some people, maybe that is reading books. For others, maybe it's listening to audiobooks. And for others, maybe it's taking courses. My personal favorite is interviewing people who have achieved exactly what I want to achieve and using the lessons that they have to teach in order to skip ahead. Now, obviously, improving your skill set can be everything from if you're a carpenter, getting better at woodworking, to if you're a salesperson, understanding better sales techniques, to if you're an entrepreneur, understanding how to better run a business. But what's important is to evaluate your current skill set and then figure out what you need to learn in order to get to where you want to go. Which leads us to the next step in this process, which is the actions that you take. And taking action is probably one of the hardest pieces of getting ahead. And I don't need to explain to you that actions are difficult. I mean, we've all tried to lose weight or get a six-pack, right? However, taking action is about two things. The first is creating systems that help you take action, and the second is making sure that you take the right actions. Now, with respect to systems in order to help you take action, that can be everything from building a routine to creating checklists to chunking major projects down into smaller pieces. For example, in the intro, I mentioned that I've written 3 best-selling books. And books are complicated things to publish. You have to first think of a concept for the book, then you have to think of a title, then you have to think of the individual chapters, and then you have to go through the process of writing out those individual chapters. And a book can take anywhere from 3 months to 3 to 5 years to write. So when taking on a big project like a book that seems overwhelming at first, the best way to do it is to chunk it down into individual pieces and then do one thing at a time. Small, accomplishable goals. Now, the taking actions piece is the key here, because as long as you're taking action, you're constantly moving forward. And even if you fail, even if you take the wrong actions, the data that you gather from taking those wrong actions can be used to propel you forward. And if for whatever reason the actions that you're taking aren't working, then what you need to do is you need to go back, reevaluate your skill set, reevaluate your mindset, and determine first if the goal you're trying to accomplish is reasonable and if you have the right skill set in order to accomplish it. And my experience is, if somebody isn't succeeding, you can look at these 3 things, figure which of the 3 things isn't working, adjust, and get them on the path to success. Because you know, for example, if somebody has the right mindset and is taking actions but they aren't getting anywhere, then you need to improve the skill set. And if you know that somebody has the right mindset and the right skill set but isn't taking actions, then all you have to do is help them build a path forward with respect to taking those actions. And obviously, if somebody has the right skill set and is taking actions but just isn't getting anywhere in life, well, then you need to adjust their mindset and show them what's possible, which is what I'm trying to do here in this video. So knowing this, anytime you get in a rut or anytime you're not getting to where you want to go, all you have to do is take a look at your mindset, take a look at your skill set, take a look at your actions, figure which of the 3 is out of place, and then work on that. And if you're constantly reevaluating and adjusting, no matter how outrageous your goal is, you can with certainty accomplish it. And as long as you keep pushing forward and you make sure that your mindset stays positive, you will absolutely get to where you want to go. Oh, and if you want to know more about getting where you want to go, make sure you check out one of these videos here.